Hi, I'm Instructor Max, and I'm just going to go through my journey into shooting, how I got started, and then how that transitioned into coaching as well. It all started with my dad. He shot during the 70s and 80s. He wasn't a bad shot, my dad, but he can never hack it. He was never as good as I am. But he gave up, and he still did it casually, but he didn't take it as seriously. Then when I was 12 years old, we took it back up as a hobby again. So it was something me and him could do. Obviously, we started with fishing. Then we transitioned into shooting. I had lessons at Ladies Was Shooting School with Michael Pinker. That started my journey from 12 to 16. And when I was 16, Michael Pinker actually approached my dad and said, if you want to become CPSA qualified, I will use you for corporate instruction and for instruction. So that was obviously the very first point of contact for being an instructor. I was 16 at that point. And then obviously my dad then started working at an events place in North Bristol. He would bring me along and I could press the buttons and just watch and observe him and obviously watch him do it and watch him get started with it all. And this is really pleasant. And then he stopped doing it. And then I actually took that role on myself. And obviously it was all corporate, hen and stag do, but it was all a very good introduction to it because you get used to so many people, so many problems, still problems that I encounter today. Eye dominance, hold points, how to mount the gun. So you get used to dealing with people very, very quickly. So that was from sort of 18 onwards. And at 21 years old, I then became APSI qualified. So that was my first qualification at 21. Then we started doing, obviously again, still corporate stuff, hen and stag do, and we just sort of we're doing more and more of it for different people and enjoying it. Obviously it's very hard to do as a full-time job. You've got to go out there and get it and want it and try and piece it all together from various avenues of work, whether it be corporate, hen and stag do, one-to-one tuition, group tuition, or whatever it might be. A couple of years down the line, I was 24, and then I got my second qualification. Then I became CPSA qualified. And so I had two qualifications by 24, and I thought, where am I going to go with this? Then I started reaching out to places like Holland and Holland, Royal Berkshire, West London Shooting School, to see if there was more corporate work out there. And next thing you know, I had phone calls from Chris Bird and obviously Nigel Muir at Royal Berkshire. And then I approached them, had a meeting, and then we started doing more work for them. And you started to piece all together, and I thought, this is enjoyable. And in May 2019, I gave up my carpentry job, and then we went full-time self-employed shooting instructor. But during that time, I approached my girlfriend at the time. I said, I am now married to her. But Chloe, I said to her, I'm going to start shooting more, because I thought, if I need to be doing this part, I need to be able to prove that I can do that part as well. So the shooting had to go hand in hand with the tuition as well. I didn't know it would quite go this far. But obviously we made it all happen by hook or by crook. And it's been very difficult. It's been a very, very steep learning curve to try and make it all happen at the same time. I went out on my own, still kept with the corporate stuff, because obviously that kept the money side of it just ticking in, keep going. And it was enjoyable. You met different people, you put yourself in different circles. Obviously it's not something that I do now, but it's always been good fun, and you always get a different environment and something different to do. But then I started shooting, so the shooting side of it, I shot my first registered in October 2018 with Meadowcroft, and I shot fairly well. And I thought, oh, this is better than I thought it was going to go. This is enjoyable. Where else can I go? And then it sort of tumbled really, and it just started shooting more and more and more. And then, like most shooters, as I was shooting, I wasn't improving. So then I went and had lessons. I went and had lessons with Ed Solomons of the Sporting Targets. And obviously then you started to learn. And I go, oh, this is interesting. These are actually what's important. Even though I actually had two qualifications, then when you start dealing with obviously professional shooters, professional coaches, you start to learn what's important and go, oh, this is what I need to prioritize. This is what's going to take me up here. So as I was having lessons with Ed, obviously then my shooting started to get better and better and better. Then as my shooting was getting better and better and better, I obviously started getting more and more clients in. But with most shooters, obviously I was happy where the tuition was, but it's very difficult to make shooting happen. I've never shot for my county. I shot for England before I ever shot for my county. It's not like playing for rugby where you go up through the ranks. You can almost chop and choose and do what you want really, without very little guidance. And so it's hard to try and sort of piece it all together. We fast forward a few years of shooting, obviously everything's ticking along nicely, the tuition's going well, the shooting's going well, and I met a person called John Broomfield who sort of accelerated my learning in the shooting. John was the first client that started to get progressed really, really well in a short space of time. And then me and him started shooting a tremendous amount. Me and him then went everywhere together. We were an inseparable duo, and we just shot and shot and shot. And he allowed me, he funded the future shots, funded me. He funded me in a time where obviously my mum, she passed away of cancer in February 22. I met John in August of 21. So he was very, very pivotal in a time where I needed help, I needed support, and he allowed me to be me and started to progress me, and I progressed him as well. So we worked very well as a team. So my shooting was then we started getting better. I went from A class to AA during that time. And then before I know, I was in AAA. So in sort of 9 months time, we've gone from A to AAA. I've spoken about the Future Shots Academy before, that I started during COVID, where I would sponsor and provide clothing and tuition cartridges for youngsters. I won my first Coach of the Year in March of 22, which then allowed me to go on to do other things, other opportunities. And then it was about the time that I started shooting England selection shoots. So I thought, oh, this has to be the next logical step in my shooting. That's the only way I'm going to get more clients and more credibility. The following year in 23, I was only a couple plays away from being in the England team. We had a good season, performed relatively well. But like I said, it's if you're not used to it, there's a lot of pressure. And generally, I didn't perform well in the earlier part of the season, so it all rode on the last shoot of the season, and it didn't go so well. Went to Sporting Targets, didn't perform very well, didn't make the England team that year. Fine. Then I said to myself, next year is going to be my year. We're going to do it next year. And we did it. We were very fortunate enough to get to the England team in 2024. I won AA at the English Open Super Sporting. I shot 100 straight, and I won my first ever England selection shoot in that year, all within about a 2-month period. Then you got to try and manage the coaching as well. John Broomfield had to go back to work, so then I was left on my own, which is absolutely fine. But it means that obviously whatever money I earned from coaching had to go into my shooting. So to get the balance right, to shoot enough, perform well, be calm enough, be rested enough, be hydrated, it was very hard to get that balance right. And it's something that I haven't quite perfected yet. But maybe one day I will. I love working. I love being out here on a shooting ground. I love helping people. That's what I love the most. The shooting is I just happen to be a half decent shot. I'm not super hungry for it. You're never going to see me out here shooting 7 days a week. I love being out here coaching people, dealing with people, watching people enjoy learning and getting them to improve and helping them along their journey. That's what's important. So I had an amazing time shooting in Scotland for England. That was an amazing experience. I had my second shoot off of that year, and then I won New Cap High Gun. So that was a very proud moment. Then we head into 2025. Then I won my second Coach of the Year, CPSA Coach of the Year. So I was the first person ever to win it twice, which was a very proud moment. So then it's a case of, okay, what more have we got to do? What more have we got to win? And for me, shooting is an incredibly enjoyable sport. I happen to be a reasonable shot, but it's almost, I had to realize that I can't keep, unless I have X amount more money to spend at it, I won't be able to get to what I want to do. Unless I have a particularly lucky season where everything just falls into place, it's unlikely I'm going to win anything. I think if I had the time and effort and the money to put into it and the appropriate rest, I think we can make something happen somewhere. But at this current moment in time and the way we're going at it, I don't believe so. After winning Coach of the Year, obviously my actual lessons, or the amount of lessons we're doing, was going through the roof. So that side of it was prospering, and my shooting just started to dip a little bit. So I found that I wasn't giving myself appropriate rest, wasn't looking after myself. So even though the lessons were flying, my shooting wasn't. So that was a hard thing to try and accept, because obviously it's the Premier Inns, it's the time away from home, it's trying to make it all happen. Because obviously, whilst I say I'm not hungry for it, I still am a competitor. I want to compete, I want to do well, I don't want to look silly. So I have to, but it was very sort of difficult to try and make it all happen. I was due to have a quieter year in 2026. Throughout 25, I was speaking to GMK to try and get a sponsorship or ambassadorship with GMK and Beretta. So I didn't necessarily think anything was going to happen. GMK only worked with a select few people, so I wasn't expecting too much when I was trying to deal with them and also emailing back and forth. But early January this year, they approached me and said, do you want to come on board? We're going to give you XYZ, and then we're going to help you and support you in your journey, and obviously what you do with the youngsters and everything else that you do. So whilst I thought I was going to have a quieter year, it looks like that 2026 is going to be an even busier year. And then it's trying to maintain the shooting, maintain the lessons, because January was actually my busiest ever month ever, despite the fact it was terrible weather and everything else. We had more lessons than ever, which is incredibly exciting. So every year we have raised the bar, we keep pushing for more, but at some point the shooting has to sort of, unless I win the lottery, the shooting then has to sort of be a little bit stagnant, because you really can't do it all. And I really have tried. We have tried to do it all. I'm not Superman. I love shooting. I love being out and about. But the lessons have to come first. But I really have enjoyed my journey over the past sort of 7 years this year. 7 years we've been on this journey, and it's obviously every year has been better. There are always going to be obviously road bumps, and we've always jumped over them and we've crossed them, and we've done everything to try and push every barrier we can to make myself better. Because obviously it's been a really good journey for me. I think we've worked really hard to be the best we can, and we're always learning, we're always adapting, we're always trying to be the best we can as well. The best I can be, then I can pass that down to all my clients as well. We're only at the start of 2026 now, so I look forward to showing you what else we can do this year and bringing you along on the journey. I hope you've enjoyed a brief snippet into my journey and what we've done so far. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Instructor Max.